Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here for my third unofficial 2023 NFL mock draft, and this will be the last unofficial 2023 mock draft. And let me make sure that I mute myself because, wow, I am loud. Also, why could I even hear myself? I should be able to. There we go. That's more like it. There we go. So third unofficial 2023 NFL mock draft. This is pre-Super Bowl, post-Senior Bowl edition. The Super Bowl is in 2 days. It is in Sunday night. So getting in right before. And to be honest with you, it really doesn't matter because, you're only talking about the Eagles and the Chiefs picks that might be swapped. But I was here on a Friday night and I was bored. So I decided to watch some tape and at the same time make a mock draft. And by the way, we are starting my 2023 NFL draft prospect evaluations now. And I might even have the first video ready even as early as tomorrow. But at the very least, by next Tuesday, I hope to have Bryce Young, and then also next week to have CJ Stroud evaluations up on the channel. So stay tuned for my 2023 NFL draft prospect evaluations. Definitely going to cover the top 4-5 quarterbacks if you include Hendon Hooker, probably Hooker. We'll see about Hooker. But definitely the top 4, including Richardson. Maybe you have your Hooker in your top 4, but including Richardson and Levis. And then running backs, I feel like I'm only going to do like Bijan Robinson. Wide receivers, the top 3 or 4. Offensive lineman, I'll do a couple. Defensive lineman, I'll do a couple. I hope to do about, by the time the draft comes, which is about 2.5 months, I hope to do about 20. I feel like that's a comfortable number where I was still covering the combine and the draft and what's going on with the time zone. So maybe about 20. We'll see. That's my target number, but stay tuned for that series. But I'm not going to continue to hold you. Let's go ahead and get into this updated 2023 NFL mock draft. Now, I'm going to go ahead and discuss the most surprising thing from this mock draft, which I honestly do not believe is going to happen, but I wanted to approach it today, or at least broach it. Approach it and broach it, right? 2 different words there. And that is the possibility of Will Levis being either the second or the first quarterback taken in this class. Yes, we have all been assuming that it's going to be Bryce Young and CJ Stroud being 1 and 2, but what if a team like the Indianapolis Colts really falls in love with Will Levis? And we're going to evaluate Will Levis within the next 2 weeks on this channel. Will Levis, he has the size, he has the arm strength, he has overall strength and build that you love to see in quarterbacks. He reminds everyone of Josh Allen, and this is a problem because we don't want to miss on another Josh Allen. Everyone is afraid of missing on the next Josh Allen. Everyone doubted Josh Allen when he came out in the 2018 NFL draft, or at least a lot of people did. A lot of people thought it was a reach for the Bills to take Josh Allen in the first round of that 2018 NFL draft, but he still went in the first round of the 2018 NFL draft and ended up being a great quarterback. A quarterback now that for 3 straight seasons has thrown for like over 35 passing touchdowns. He's obviously one of the top 3-4 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So Will Levis is earning those comparisons. Are those comparisons totally fair? We're going to discuss that in my evaluations. I think, for the somewhat, I can see from the college perspective those comparisons, but will it translate to the next level? You can never be so sure. We will see when it comes to that. But as for right now, and again, this is just right now, I just wanted to try a mock to see what would happen if Will Levis went forward to the Colts. So I have the Colts taking Will Levis over CJ Stroud. In this scenario, okay, the domino effect, would the Seahawks take Stroud? Now, in my opinion, if we get all the way to this point, and this point being the 23 NFL draft, if the Seahawks, and I think they would have a quarterback at this point. I think they'd have Geno Smith under contract for a long-term extension. I think a 3-year extension worth about at least $30 million a year. Honestly, I really believe he's going to get about $30 million a year. I think under that contract, I don't think you take a CJ Stroud. You've already committed. I don't know how much of that would be guaranteed. Let's say maybe 50. I don't know if you take a CJ Stroud in that scenario. So the Seahawks pass on it. The Lions at number 6, Jared Goff played well. They pass on it. Number 7, the Raiders. At this point, all the way, this is in April, I think that by this point, the Raiders will have some veteran quarterback that they believe in. I believe as of right now will be Garoppolo. If Brady did not retire, I believe it was going to be Tom Brady, but he did retire. So right now I have it being hopefully, or not hopefully, I don't know if you're a Raider fan what you want, but I have it likely being Jimmy Garoppolo that goes to the Las Vegas Raiders in free agency. So that's what I have going on there. The Falcons are still riding with Desmond Ridder. They like Desmond Ridder. And look, he had 2 touchdowns in his final game, and he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't have any interceptions all offseason, and he had a damn good preseason. He looked very good in the preseason, so they pass on. So C.J. Stroud falls all the way down to number 9 Carolina Panthers. Now, is there a chance in hell that a team would not trade up for him before he fell all the way down to number 9? Yeah, I don't think so. I think a team will trade up, but I'm not doing trades yet. We will do trades. I'd like to start doing trades in like March when I have some definitive rumors. There were a couple rumors that came out in the Senior Bowl that a couple teams are, calling the Bears for potentially moving up to the number 1 overall pick. And by the way, that included the Tennessee Titans, which is very interesting. But nothing substantial enough for me yet to say that, okay, yes, let me go ahead and have, that trade scenario here. Although I think I will have it by the time we get to March. But for right now, let me just stick with no trades. It's the safest thing to do. So C.J. Stroud falls all the way down to number 9 in the Panthers. And I believe what the Panthers are going to do, I think Sam Darnold is still under contract. But if not, I feel like they'd bring him back on a very cheap deal. Or they'd get like a Mariota or something. And I feel like their plan would be to come into this draft and select, quarterback that they could see in the future. I don't see them investing in a Derek Carr. In fact, they've already come out and say they're not going to pay like a Derek Carr. So that's out of the running. They could get a Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that. But I don't think the Panthers are going to leave free agency with a quarterback that they believe is their franchise quarterback, with a quarterback that they truly believe, is going to be their starter beyond even this upcoming season. So I think they're 100% likely to take Stroud here, but they might have to move up from number 9. I mean, if the Colts pass on Stroud at number 4, now the bidding starts at number 5. Now the bidding continues at number 6. The bidding will continue at number 7 if Stroud continues to fall, because I believe one of these teams, like a team like the Titans, hopefully, week, nudge, would go ahead and move up, hopefully, to one of those positions and take C.J. Stroud. That's just what I would hope, but we'll see on that. So, with that said, let's continue talking about the significant picks in this mock. So, number 7, I have Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern. Now, I'm sorry to sour on Skoronski being the first offensive lineman taken, because, again, this guy has short arms for an offensive tackle. So if a lot of teams, and this is the current rumor, a lot of teams are considering him to be an offensive guard at the next level, okay? If this is the case, why would he go top 10? Why would he even go top 15? Are you going to take a guard in the top 15, even if you think he's a great guard? This is in 2013 with Chance Warmack. And by the way, how did that work out? Okay, it didn't work out very well for the Tennessee Titans when they took a guard in Chance Warmack. And the top, I think that pick was maybe... I want to say, what was Chance Warmack? He was up there. I want to say, 2013, we were 12, 2012, we were 6 and 10. So that might have been like the 8th pick of the draft, and didn't work out. So, I mean, very rarely do you see a potential guard be taken this high. So if teams are really projecting Skoronski to be a guard the next level, I'm not sure if he's going to be the first offensive lineman taken off of the board. I might start putting Paris Johnson Jr. over him. And speaking of him, I have him going 11 to the Tennessee Titans. And, sorry to bore the Titans fans on this channel, but until we have a left tackle, I'm sorry, I just have to keep having us getting a tackle. I just have to. Until we have a left tackle, I'm going to keep mocking us again and again and again and again and again and again and again to take an offensive line. Except for maybe if I just feel like, okay, 1 week, like, hey, let's just go wild and say wide receiver here. But as of right now, I mean, none of these wide receivers are definitively better than any of the top tackles. They could end up being, like, I like Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson. I have some issues with him. We're going to get into him when I get into my wide receiver evaluation. But outside of that, there's no one. So I'm just going to keep mocking offensive tackle here. It's just going to keep happening. And I know it's boring. This is a very boring time for Titans fans mock draft-wise, because literally every single mock draft that you see has the Titans taking an offensive tackle or lineman, if you think Skoronski's going to be an offensive guard at the next level. But that's what you have to have. I mean, that's what you have to have. There's nothing else to have. I'm sorry. I know it's boring. You have to have it. So that's what I have. Speaking of wide receivers, I have Jordan Addison going 12 to the Houston Texans, and then Quentin Johnson 14 to the Patriots. I had a question in the chat about Joey Porter Jr. So I'm still mixed on the cornerbacks and where they're really falling. A lot of people are now really into Devin Witherspoon, so I had him going first, and I had actually Joey Porter Jr. falling out of the first round. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Yeah, probably not. That's just how things shook out in this mock. I mean, he probably at least go by like 28 to the Cincinnati Bengals. I had Clark Phillips, the third out of Utah, going there. But for this mock, that's how it shook out. And again, this is very early, guys. The quarterbacks for me, from what I'm seeing, they're still very fluid. I think the one that everyone agrees that everyone likes is Christian Gonzalez. So I have him consistently going about in the middle of the first round. Outside of that, I think the quarterbacks are very fluid. Some people think Kelee Ringo now may not even go in the first round. People are ranking him in the 40s. I still have him going in the first round right now. Next mock, I'm not sure if I'm going to have him in the first round at all. So yeah, that's what's going on with the cornerback situation. I have Anthony Richardson. Now, although I just said, okay, here comes the hypocrisy. I know I just said that I had the Seahawks passing a CJ Stroud at number 5, but at number 20, with Anthony Richardson there, a guy that everyone knows, this CJ Stroud is ready to go, pretty much. But Anthony Richardson, everyone knows, is a 1-2-year project. Geno Smith is 32, turning 33. You could take Richardson at number 20 and bench him for 2 years and feel comfortable with that, knowing that there's a 5th-year option. So that's why I have that. If there's any confusion on that, that's why I currently have that. Yeah, Anthony Richardson, I feel like they'd be more likely to take Richardson at 20, even though I would disagree with this decision. But I feel like they'd be more likely to take Richardson at 20, bench him for a couple years, then take CJ Stroud at number 5 if he falls. I honestly really believe that. I just really believe it. Because Stroud, at that point, you're saying you have to have a competition. Like, you're already starting the controversy. But if you take Anthony Richardson, there's no controversy. Unless if Geno Smith struggles, there's no controversy. The minute Geno Smith throws an interception and CJ Stroud's on the bench, there's going to be controversy. So I think that's something that you would see there. Outside of that, no drama with the Ravens. I still have them taking wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba, okay, out of Ohio State. I still think he's going to go first round. We'll see. Some people are now souring on wide receiver Rashee Rice, so that's why you don't see him going in the first round of this mock. And people are souring on the wide receiver overall when it comes to the 2023 draft. I only have 3 wide receivers going in the first round here. I had Rashee Rice and Jalen Hyatt going in the first round of my last mock, not in this mock. Just because, again, they've been a little fluid. Now, I think when Hyatt goes to the combine, I think he's going to put up good numbers and his stock is going to rise to being a first rounder again. But it seems like teams are softening on the hype when it comes to the wide receivers in this draft class. So that's why I only have 3 going in the first round. So there you go. That is my third unofficial 2023 NFL mock draft. So at this point, we're headed deep enough to where mock drafts every 2 weeks at least on this channel. So expect a new mock draft at least every 2 weeks, and then eventually will become weekly as we head about mid-March. Then we're going to come weekly when it comes to these mock drafts. Still don't want to do weekly yet. I mean, I could do it for the views, and I like views. But, I mean, it's still early because my mocks aren't even really changing that much. But when we go to the combine and stuff, more, news, rumors comes out, that's when things will change. But for right now, that is my third unofficial mock draft. So what are your thoughts on my mock draft? Comment down below. I want to know. And until next time, it's been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.